fun. Zeros, ones, the code is tight. Building dreams in the neon light. Frank's World. Quantum leaps, AI streams. Frank's World. It's a dream. It's the dream.
Welcome to franksworld.com.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Frank's World Live, which I may also convert this to a podcast for Data Driven as a kind of a short show. Just wanted to let folks know that the Data Driven podcast is still going strong. There's been a lot of things going on in Andy's world and, of course, Frank's world. But don't worry, the show is going strong and I have some cool stuff planned. Speaking of cool AI and data stuff, what a week it's been, right? First, we had the Claude Code leak, which some people are trying to cover that as a April Fool's Day joke. But that does seem the veracity and the strength of the DMCA takedown notices seem to not make that true. I only heard that from one source, and I'm not convinced he heard it right. The other thing is the new Gemini model, which has been released as open source. And while everyone's acting also or open weights, right? Everyone's acts all surprised about this. Google announced that they would do this about 8 months ago. I don't think they tied it to the next version of the model, but they did say that eventually they'll be able to pull down these models. And if memory serves, I think they said it was on Hugging Face. So let's go check out Hugging Face and see what they say. Yep. Let me share my tab. Come on. There we go. Yep. Gemma 4 is there. Multimodal intelligence. So there's definitely a lot of stuff to read. Speaking of which, I know this is a big deal that Red Hat can't ignore the fedora back there. Red Hat did have day zero support for this on their platform. So, but it's interesting what they have here. So there's definitely video understanding and things like that, which I think is cool. I think there's a lot of opportunity here, particularly at some of the research here. Definitely want to dive into this. Today is Good Friday, so some of the kids are home. So we'll see how that goes, how much, if any, research is done today. I do want to say that I did install OpenClaw on a local VM, and this was largely driven by Network Chuck's video. So if you haven't seen Network Chuck's video on OpenClaw, I highly recommend it. But and tell him Frank sent you. Definitely check it out. It is a very friendly and approachable way to look at it. Plus, I also discovered that I can use, actually use my OpenAI account as opposed to burning, tokens or whatever for it. I do have it set up with Telegram, and let's see, is Telegram working on this computer? It is. So what's really cool about this is I have it set up. Let's see if I can share that screen. So my bot is called Claudia. Get it? And oh, she's over there. And basically, I have it set up that in the evening it gives me kind of an update of all this AI news that happened today, and in the morning it tells me the weather and the pollen report. Which again, it's seasonal allergy time. So, this is for the thumbnail. And actually here, this week, on April Fool's Day, I actually did do a live stream. And I don't know what I was thinking, or maybe the coffee wasn't strong enough that day. but I actually did not. I actually didn't hit go live. So I actually talked about how I got OpenClaw set up literally like that morning, and then I showed off this. So April 1st was marks the day I got this as a kid. It was an Easter Sunday that year, and Crazy Eddie, of all places, had a sale on it. So, but I remember having to been wanting. I had wanted one of these for a while, and um, I remember asking my parents for this, and I was like, well, if it goes on sale, and then as luck would turn out, it went on sale, and got it, but I couldn't use it or talk to anyone about it when we went to my grandmother's and aunts because dysfunctional family reasons. But yeah, in any case, that was also April Fool's Day, and so I kind of made a comment that look, I have OpenClaw and I have kind of my first experience with personal computing, and now my first experience with personal agents. I actually kind of like this. This is really cool. It is very convenient to talk to your bot. I know it's not rocket science or anything. Can I minimize that? I can minimize that. I also noticed as soon as I get there's a lot of spam that came my way. Let's see. Can I? There we go. That's what I want. So what I can ask her is I'll say, so you can start a new session. This clears off your tokens. And I can say, hello, what is the weather in Baltimore, Maryland? Because there's multiple Baltimores in the world. Yeah, I see the comment. Yeah, one is enough. That's harsh. That's really harsh. Afternoon, Frank. I'm Claudia, settled in, awake, and ready to be useful. So you'll see she's still typing. I don't know if you can see that up there. There we go. Exec approval needed. Well, it's not a demo until something breaks. But this worked literally the other day, so I don't know what's going on here. And I also got my morning report, so Telegram approval is not enabled for this bot account. Okay. So I have to go and do some command line magic, but can you tell me what the big deal about Gemma 4 is? We'll see if it'll work. So clearly there's a lot of things that I still have to do in terms of configuring it. There's clearly a lot of, let's see, I saw Windows, there we go. Clearly there's a lot of fun stuff. There you go. If you mean Google's Gemma family and the recent Gemma 3/4B buzz, the big deal is pretty simple. Small enough to run locally, blah, 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 blah. Pushes the line of useful but not gigantic. That's pretty cool. So what's interesting is the back end of this is actually OpenAI's GPT-5 something. So it's pretty cool. And this is running on a VM on my Windows server, and it's down in the hallway. And it's like a basement thing, and works really well. It works really fast, which is very curious because when I did this on the Spark, and if you recall my earlier demos when I ran this on the DGX Spark, it was really slow. Like I would type something in, and it would take like a minute to actually get a response, almost to the point where it was kind of laughable. Which is funny because when I ran the same model in interactive mode on the actual terminal, it was really fast. So that makes me wonder what's going on there. I don't know, but this is just a Ubuntu. It's running on an Ubuntu server on top of a Windows server and Hyper-V. I know. But on an old Dell Power Edge, same Dell Power Edge I've talked about before, where I picked it up for about $250, got a $50 hard drive and little stupid hard drive casings for it. It's pretty cool. So, I mean, obviously it's going to be faster, because I'm using an OpenAI service, but just still, clearly there's a lot of optimization I should probably go through with that. But I also don't like the idea of tying up all that VRAM that I could use for generating video, generating, doing fine tuning, things like that. So I don't want to I like having it kind of like set up this simple and things like that. Should I have it on my own home network? I don't know. Um, Again, because it saves these things, and I don't know how much folks have dived into OpenClaw, but basically it has certain files that it saves locally to kind of, it's how it learns and evolves over time. It has a soul, it has a heartbeat, has an identity, all that sort of files. They can be ported pretty easily over to another instance. But for now, I'm running it there, and I'm just poking around with it. I have it now. Let's see if I can get it to work. Can you give me a Word doc X file of that news and last? Let's see how it goes. Yeah, and last night's AI news report. Thanks. I always want to be kind to the bots because just in case when they take over, they'll remember the people that that were nice. So it's thinking about it. You can see it's typing and exec approvals. So this is interesting. It did not do this yesterday. Okay. All right. How about just today? Just about Gemma 4 and today's other AI news. Let's see how that works. Yes, it is Good Friday, and yes, I do know I need a shave and possibly a haircut. I'm wearing my dumpy run around the house sweater. I really wasn't planning on streaming, but I was like, you know what? Today's gonna be crazy, so probably gonna do it. Um, so it's interesting saying I can draft a document, but I need current AI news sources and likely a way to generate a docx. So I did install the docx skill yesterday, following Network Chuck's instructions. That is weird. All right, so Claudia is being a little rambunctious today. But otherwise, Claudia's been a pretty helpful assistant. I can ask what I really appreciate, and honestly, this is something I wanted to do a full video on. I'm a big fan of Android Auto, just because it puts all of my apps and whatnot in one place. And Claudia says she needs permission, so I have to go and fix that. But this literally worked last night. Big fan of Android Auto, but because I'm using Telegram, I'm actually able to interact with Claudia through voice on the phone while I'm driving. So I was driving in a day, and she the other morning taking a kid to school, and it gave me the weather report, and I was like, yeah, I clicked on it, and it read it out to me. It's like, would you like to reply? And I was like, yeah, what's the weather in Philadelphia or something like that, and she it basically did that, and it used Telegram as a way through I was gonna say as a vehicle, but as a method to voice interact with the server, right? Because Android Auto has this built-in kind of back and forth you can do with texting, which is infinitely safer than anything else. And it really, I had this whole back and forth conversation with it, and it was cool. And it brought me back to the early days of Windows Phone, or late days of Windows Phone, when they had Cortana was added to the system, and you could actually have kind of these interactive conversations, kind of with menus and things like that, with Cortana. And I was able to do that while I was driving. It was very helpful because I think back then I was driving to DC every day, and that's a joy. But it was very useful. So here we are now. I have a very similar experience, arguably with a much better, um, 10 years later with, an LLM. I think that's really cool, and I'm really excited about that. So, yes, this is an oven mitt. I see the comment. My wife was like, "Why do you have an oven mitt in your desk?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a open claw thing." So there you go. This is for the thumbnail. This is for the thumbnail. YouTubers have to look like they're being electrocuted. There we go. That's for the thumbnail. I'm still in the middle of rearranging my office. Don't worry, the big crazy monitors are still there, the painting's still there, right? It's just a matter of kind of setting things up still. So um, with that, I'm going to end the stream. Have a good holiday weekend. I don't know if I'll be streaming later, but never know. Never say never. And yeah, I have to. I have to see if I can get that working again. All right, everyone. Have a good one.